Alright, what is up guys? In this video, I really want to go over how to actually do the tank and everything, how to set it up, what you need, because I have a few videos on actually how to do the air suspension install, which includes pretty much everything right here at this section. But when it comes to like the tank, the water trap, which is that right there, with those lines, what you need at the bottom, how you need to connect it, I haven't really gone over that. So I wanted to go over that in this video here. But I'll also be assembling everything here at the bottom at the end of the video if you guys want to watch that as well. I have everything separated, so I have like the struts over here. These are already assembled. It's how the kit actually comes from factory, nothing installed. And I have the compressor right here. I attached this filter, and then I added the silencers at the bottom. This is the first time actually doing this. This pretty much allows the car or the compressor to be a lot quieter when it turns on and doesn't make as much noise or vibration. So that's what this is right here. These are the brackets along with the hardware. I'll be showing you guys how to install that as well. And then you have the rear bolt or the top of the bucket to be able to install it to the top hat right here. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the compressors and for the struts. And then when it comes to the actual tank itself, you have two different kinds. This is actually a 4-gallon tank. I'll tell you right here, the rating for the PSI. This is at 200 PSI, and that's the maximum that you can put this tank at. And there's other tanks that you can go a lot higher, that are a lot bigger. This one has the holes on the sides, and then it has one at the bottom. You have other tanks that have them right in the front, and this is a polished tank. You have other tanks that are not polished, that look kind of rough. And then here you have your fittings that need to go to the tank. Here you have your water trap. This is actually a newer water trap. This comes in your tank as well. I already connected it. And then there I have all the wires and everything that you need to connect. If you have two compressors, you need to make sure you have two wires. You have your main harness, which is this one here with the connection. And then you have this one, which is a little bit smaller, has a relay, the connection to the compressors. And this is the second connection that goes to the main compressor as well. And then along with the kit, you should have two of these right here in order to connect to the battery. And then you should have two green fuses. This one comes in this package. And then you have another package that comes in one of the other boxes right there, the green one. And then you have a fuse plug to connect to the battery terminal, which is this right here. This is going to be your manifold. You want to make sure that you have everything before you go ahead and install it, because if you do not check and you're installing everything and you're missing a piece, then you're going to have to wait until you get that piece in order to install everything. So for example, on two other projects that I had, I was going to go ahead and install this line right here. Everything was good, but they sent me the wrong piece that was connected to the line. They had sent me I believe it's a 3/8 line when I need a 1/4. This is a 1/4, which is a lot smaller, connects to the airbag and the air lines. So when that happened, I had to wait at least like a few days to get that fitting. Everything is here so far, so we're all good to go. Right now I'm just setting everything up. That way when it comes to installing everything, which is we're going to start doing it on Saturday, then I have everything. We just got to put it onto the car and we're good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and start connecting everything to the tank that needs to go on here. Whenever you go ahead and install fittings onto the tank, you need to add Teflon tape to every single thread pitch that's on here. So for example, we have to add Teflon tape to this right here. We're going to have to add Teflon tape to this. And this already has it, so you technically don't need to. But usually you want to add a little bit more just to make sure it does seal properly. Now, if you don't add Teflon tape, you will have leaks. I 100% promise you will have a leak on that thread if you do not add Teflon tape. And then this is a Teflon tape. It comes with your kit already. And then here you have a line cutter. You have to use this to make sure that it comes out straight when you do your cuts. If you have a cut that is not straight like this, then you will have a leak as well. Now another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that your lines are the appropriate size that you ordered and that they actually are the same size on your manifold, which is this right here. If they are not the same size, you will not be able to attach it to it and you will not be able to connect it. So see how it fits in there? You're good, we can take it out. Now, when you are connecting the water trap, you can connect it wherever you want as long as it's sitting up like this. I usually always do mine on the side right here where I connect it. these top holes, this is going to be for the compressors. So the compressors are going to be attached right here at the top. For the bottom one, you want to go ahead and install the water trap. They did not provide me a fitting that's going to allow me to attach the water trap directly to it. Attach a bunch of fittings together to make this work and fit. With that being said, I will have to use these right here in order to attach it to the water trap and the air line directly. And it's not something I usually do. I usually like to connect like the fitting directly here onto there. So I need pretty much a double-sided male fitting in order to make this work, where I connect this to that there, which was not provided to me in this kit. So to make it work, I will have to use one of these. This is I believe it's a 3/8 and this is a 1/4. And then I would have to connect one of these to it as well, and then connect this on top of it as well. So we're going to go ahead and add Teflon tape, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten it up. Now that we have all the fittings attached to it, we can go ahead and start connecting it. And the reason that you want to have it facing like this, with the bottom part is pointing down, is that the water can drop down and it'll come out of this hole if there is any. That way it doesn't go into the manifold itself, because that'll cause issues and it'll cause problems into the manifold. But that's pretty much how it would look. And then on this end over here, we would go ahead and connect this part to the manifold directly on this right here. And you would connect it to where it says tank. So that would be the T. E is for exhaust. This can go outside. You just need a line. If you want to make the car loud, where it goes psh, then you would want to put a hose here leading to the outside of the car. That way it's really loud. But there's going to be front left, front right, rear left, and rear right. And then this is the main connection to the harness. But yeah, that's the tank. Now here you would connect the compressor. Same thing, you will still have to go ahead and add Teflon tape to the ends of the compressor over there. Connect it directly here. Now, another thing that you have to do is you have to go ahead and make this connection right here for the bottom of the tank. So, at the bottom, you have another hole. That's this one right here. You're going to go ahead and connect these together. This all comes in your kit, but it's separate. So, you're going to grab this. Here, it is a bleeder. You would push this and it'll allow air to escape. And it's a way for you to also be able to take out the water from the tank, because sometimes it'll sit at the bottom. So if you have it connected to the bottom, like this, and this is connected, you can push this button and it'll release any water that's stuck in there. Same thing with this right here. Let's say this, for some reason, is not working. You can grab this right here, pull it, and then air will escape from this hole right here as well. This actually comes separate. So this is actually two pieces. I already put them together. Same thing, add Teflon tape and then connect it to it. It's a T-fitting, and then you just connect it to two other lines just like that. And then on the other end, you're going to have this fitting attached, which will go to the bottom. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a little bit more Teflon tape, and then we're going to put it in there right at the bottom. I'm going to put this on here. Now, when it comes to putting fittings onto the tank itself, you do not need to over tighten them. So if you look at this one right here, it's not all the way in. It's just snug tight on there. So no air can get out of the system. You gotta keep tightening it until it's snug on there. It does not need to go all the way to the top. If you try adding force to it, you could end up breaking the tank itself, because it is made of aluminum. It's not made of steel, so it will break, and you will cause problems with the threads. So that should be good enough right there. Once you turn on the compressors, if you hear leaks, tighten it a little bit more. But if you feel like there's still a leak, or you see that there's a leak by adding water in it and some soap, and you see little bubbles coming out, take it off, re-add Teflon tape, close it back up. Do not try over tightening it. And these do move. So once you tighten this top part right here, this does move freely. See, once that's connected to the bottom, connect your hose, and there you go. This will be an emergency if you ever need to take air out of the system. This is how you would do it. Right now, we do need to go ahead and clog up one hole, which is this one right here, because we won't be using this. So you're gonna grab your fitting, which is this one right here. Gonna add Teflon tape, and you're gonna add it here so it can just close it up. That way nothing escapes. So that should be good right there. And then these holes right here will be for the compressors itself. All right, so that is pretty much it when it comes to the tank setup. Everything is now connected. It's all sealed up. The only ones that we need to put on is now going to be the compressor. Now let's go ahead and move over to the bags. I'm going to show you how to do those. I already have these connected right here. That we have an idea of how it's supposed to look. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the rear bag, which is this one right here. These are 15 mils. So you're going to go ahead and grab your 15 mil socket. And you're going to go ahead and start loosening these up. It is pretty difficult to loosen them up. In order to loosen these nuts right here, or these bolts, I usually grab some type of wrench, or I use like a hammer to add some type of leverage to it. That way I can hold it down, and while I do that, I'll go ahead and loosen the bolt itself right there. So just like that. And then, since you're going to be pulling upward, you would want to make sure that this bottom part is held down. So put your foot down and then pull. There you go. So that's how you loosen that. And then let's do the other side. Now you can't loosen it all the way with this because it's going to get stuck at the top. You would grab an open-ended wrench in order to be able to loosen this up. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and loosen this up. I'm going to take this top hat off. Go ahead and install that. It's going to get really hard fast, so you need to go ahead and use your wrench. The same thing as well, it does not need to be super tight because the Teflon tape will go ahead and seal it up for you. For the front strut, there's two things you need to do right now. You need to go ahead and loosen this right here to move it out of the way of the hole that's here at the bottom, and you need to connect this steel line. Now they already come with red Loctite, but I add like at least 2 lines of Teflon tape because I have had this issue before where I only relied on the sealant and I still had a leak. So I went ahead and added Teflon tape and then it stopped the leak. So just go ahead and add it just in case. I had the issue before, and it sucks because when you do this, you have to remove the entire strut to access it. So it's always better just to do it this way. Let's go ahead and loosen this right here. You need an Allen key and a 10 mil socket. That should be good enough. If you need more leverage, which you will in a few minutes, grab something to put in between this hole right here. That way you have leverage and you can go ahead and tighten it up a little bit more. See, just like that. Have a lot more leverage in order to be able to tighten it up a little bit more. And that should be it right there. That should be good enough. Another reason that you need leverage is because you need to go ahead and loosen the collar right here and turn this thing around, and then you need your spanner, which is this one right here, and you're gonna go ahead and loosen this. How you loosen it is you're going to go downward, because if you were to loosen it, you would want to spin it that way. If you want to tighten it, you would go that way. So we're gonna grab this. Make sure you're not squishing the braided line. Move it to the side, and then you're gonna put your foot right here. Just like that. You're gonna grab your spanner, put it right there, and then hold the spanner down with a lot of force and then hit it with the hammer to loosen it. There you go. If you don't have something to support it right here, it's going to be very difficult because it's just going to be moving around. So you need something right on the other end in order to loosen it. The reason that you're loosening this collar is because this needs to go a lot lower. I think you need about 4 inches, which is quite a lot, in order for your car to air up quite a bit. On my car, I have about 4 inches from here to the bottom for it to be proper and for the car to actually air up. So now we need to go ahead and connect this fitting to the other end. That way we can connect our airline. You will need 2 open-ended wrenches in order to be able to do this part, to tighten it up. So that's pretty much it. All is done. Everything else can be done when it's installed into the car. Alright, so after you do the struts and everything, you're pretty much good. The only thing that would be left to do on his setup is going to be the compressors, because he purchased the silencers. They do not come with your kit unless you actually order it with it. So he did get it. I already installed it on one, which is this one here. You can see that it comes with these things at the bottom. I'll show you guys how to do that right now. You're pretty much done. There's nothing else that you need to do. Then you can just install it into the car. I won't be showing you guys how to install it in this video, but I will be doing another video on how to install it. But then you have the harness, or the main harness. I do not touch this until I have actually put everything into the car. But you have to pull all the lines into the car. So I don't want to damage any of the fittings if I put anything on the harness. So I'd rather do it until after everything's installed into the car. That's why I don't mess with the harness at this point. Since everything is done, you can go ahead and start mounting it onto your setup if you have one. In his case, he doesn't have one. He's just going to mount it directly to his floor mat. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the compressor. I'll show you guys how to do that if you guys need to. Alright, so here's the compressor and everything. You have this right here that you need to take off. Remove that. And then you need to add this filter on there. Just keep spinning it until it gets on there tight. On this one, you don't need to add Teflon tape. I never had to. I never had any issues with it. Is you need to remove the rubber rivets that are on here. If you have this kit, if you do not have the silencers, you do not need to remove them. You would keep these. It's going to allow it not to vibrate as much because it is made of rubber, so it kind of helps a little bit with the sound. But you're just going to pull it off just like that. It comes off. Same thing with this side and all 4 corners. And now the plates go at the bottom. So you're going to have one plate that's going to go here. I'm assuming you can put it whichever way you want. So you can put it like that if you want to, or you can put it the other way. In the installation, it says to put it this way, which is like that. You can do it that way, or you can do it the other way if you want to. They should be locking nuts, or whenever you're working with the compressors, always use locking nuts because they will get loose due to the vibration. So we're gonna go ahead and install this. Go ahead and tighten these up. Same thing for the other side. Now that is done, you can go ahead and start installing the actual rubber pieces that are on here. It does go a specific way, and these are pretty cool. I wish I would have bought these for my car. Honestly, I don't think I even knew that they existed at the time until I actually started working on AirSuspension a little bit more. But this allows the compressors to be a little bit quieter. So you're gonna grab each rubber piece and install it on all 4 corners. Just like that. There's one right there. You do the other sides as well. So the bolt will actually go inside of this thing right here, through it, from this bottom side right here, going to the top like that. Grab the spring, put it inside for it to fall inside the hole right there. You will grab the other side, same thing, push it through, and then you will grab your locking washer and put it on there. Do not tighten these right now because you do not need to. You will tighten them once they are on your trunk setup for it to be on there tight. Now let's go ahead and do the other side. And there you go. That's pretty much done. So this pretty much eliminates a lot of the vibration that comes from the compressor. And I think it's a lot better. I think it's a lot safer as well, like keeping it on there. Because with the regular ones, they're kind of small, so I don't think it has enough support for it to stay on there. But with this, for sure, it does, because it has like a big spacer technically, and it's gonna compress it so that way it doesn't break. So yeah, that's how that's done. So that's pretty much it for the video. If I missed anything, make sure to leave it down in the comments below. I'm pretty sure I got everything. Like I said, the wiring and everything, I don't do it until the end, or when I'm getting ready to install everything into the car and it's all in there, that's when I do the wiring and I connect everything there. So I will be making a video on that as well. Once the car comes in, I'll go ahead and start doing that. That way I can go ahead and watch it in the process. But I do have multiple videos on it. I have a Q60 that I did it on, 370Z, another one. I've actually done about 370Zs, so I've bagged a few cars already. I'm actually going to do this car again, another 370Z, and then I'm most likely going to be doing a G37 next week. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this helped you guys out. If you guys have any questions, you guys can go ahead and message me on Instagram at ChrisLeva, and or you can just leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you guys whenever I can. But thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.